Okay, we're back to talk about the cranial nerves, and we're going to go in order. So we're gonna write the number, we're gonna write the name of it, and we're going to talk about the function. So the first one we're going to talk about is cranial nerve number 1. Name is the olfactory nerve, and the function is the sensation of smell. Okay. The next one is cranial nerve number 2. As you can see, number 2, they're the eyes up here. We're going to call that the optic nerve, and the function for that is sensation of vision. So that's why they're little, the 2's are the eyes. Okay. So we're still going to go in order. So we're going to talk about the next one. Remember this, we're using the pink one now. So we're going to talk about the efferent cranial nerve, which is cranial nerve number 3. And this is efferent, so it has a motor function. This one is called ocular motor. Ocular motor. So it has a motor function, and the motor function is eye movement. But when we're talking about eye movement, we're specifically talking about eyelid opening. So if you just think of where we place the 3's on top, think of those as your eyelids, eyelid opening. And you have pupillary constriction. And then you have lens accommodation, specifically lens accommodation to light. So that's our ocular motor. That's cranial nerve number 3. The next one is cranial nerve number 4, and that is our trochlear nerve. And as you can see, our cranial nerve number 3, 4 are near the eyes, so they all have to deal with eye movement. So this one's also eye movement, but specifically this one you can move eyes downward. That's the motor function of it. Move eyes down. Okay. The next one is our cranial nerve number 5. Now I'm writing with the black marker, so this one's a mixture. So we're going to talk about our afferent function and our efferent function. So afferent, our sensory function, efferent, our motor function. So this one's called the trigeminal nerve. And as you can see, number 5, I put number 5 really big, trigeminal, and I asked you to draw just a little tail right here. So number 5. And then we drew the tongue here. So we'll talk about that a little more when we're talking about the trigeminal afferent. So trigeminal afferent, our sensory function is facial sensation, and also sensation to the anterior 2/3 of our tongue. So as you can tell, you can see we have a little line here from the 5 when we drew the tongue. So sensation to the anterior 2/3. So we're going to call this our anterior 2/3 of the tongue. And now our efferent, our motor function is masticate. And now masticate means to chew your food. Okay. Now we are going to go to cranial nerve number 6. Number 6, and this is our abducens nerve. And our abducens nerve, you can see it's number 6 here. See, so we have 3, 4, and 6 all around the eyes. They're all motor efferent. They all have motor functions, and they all have to deal with eye movement. But again, specifically, the abducens function is the abduction of the eyeball. This one, you are able to move your eyes side to side. Whereas our cranial nerve number 4, we're able to move our eyes downward. That was our abducens. Now we're going back to our black marker because we're going to talk about cranial nerve number 7, and this is our facial nerve. So as you remember, we drew like 3 7s. So we have a 7 here on the tongue, we have a 7 here, and 7 here, and this is going to have an afferent and an efferent function. So our afferent function, our sensory function for facial, is you have sensation to the ear canal, and then taste sensation to the 2/3 anterior of the tongue. So as you can see, 7, 2/3 right here, anterior to the tongue, our taste sensation. Now, let's talk about our efferent. Our efferent, our motor function is facial expressions, lacrimation. So lacrimate, tears, crying, and salivation. I'm just going to write salivate. Salivate.